Can you guys hear me? Hello? Berg, what's up, my man? Can you hear me? Oh yeah, I guess you can, huh? How's it going? Let me get some more lights up in here. Good, man. What are you doing up so late? I did not expect anyone to actually be up. You might be my only viewer this late. Nice. By the way, can you hear the music okay? Let me know if it's too loud or if it's like not audible at all. I know my last stream I was having a little bit of an issue. Nice, nice. Not much, honestly. I couldn't really fall asleep, so I just decided to jump on to see if anyone would jump on. Yeah, I'm kind of antsy about a few of my lineups, but how are your teams looking? This is a tough week. I have way too many players on bye, kickers, and defense I couldn't drop, so we'll see if we survive. Oh, what up, Irie? How you doing? Glad to see you made the stream. Man, two of you are up late. Competition league, we're top two in like. Oh wow, that's crazy. How does that work? Is it literally just top two in the 8,000 leagues who like score the most points or something? That's pretty wild, actually. Super competitive, it seems like. Also, Ari, I don't know if you 9 p.m. Where do you live? I guess if it's 9 p.m., you gotta be. Let's see, world clock. Let me see if I can guess right now. Newton, Henry, Carson, Robinson, Swift, Julio. Oh damn. What's up, Richard? How you doing, man? Damn, Berg, you've got a nice lineup. I really like the Trey Burton right there. Oh, damn. Okay, well, hey. Hello. I actually almost went to Ireland this year right before COVID hit. My girlfriend, her family heritage is Irish. She's part Irish, and I was so excited to go. We had everything planned out. She's been a few times, and COVID hit and we couldn't do it, so that was really sad. But maybe next year, and we'll keep it going, and maybe we'll do a live meet and greet in Ireland. That'd be really fun. I like that a lot, Burke. So Trey Burton, I had in my last two videos as must pickups. I'm actually a Colts fan. I'm sure I've talked about this a lot, but that little thing right there, I'm a huge Colts fan. And I was actually surprised by how much she was kind of used right away, right after he came back, because he was injured for a while. We had Mo Cox and Jack Doyle, and I thought, those two. I honestly thought Jack Doyle was going to be our big guy this year. Mo Cox started going off, right? And I thought he was going to be a pickup of the season because he just got a lot of targets. He was leading in season yards, touchdowns, or whatever. And all of a sudden, Trey Burton came, and they run with him in the end zone. They throw to him a lot. He's out running, out getting more targets than everyone else. So even though the Colts unfortunately aren't a super exciting team offensively right now, Trey Burton's going to be really involved. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, honestly, like you traded Hunter Henry for AJ Brown, like that's a huge, huge move. I understand Hunter Henry is like a decent tight end, but I don't consider him elite just yet. And AJ Brown, that boy is going off. The only thing I have concerns about is when Corey Davis comes back, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, I love AJ Brown, and I'm starting him in a lot of my flexes this week over running back. So that's a really good pick. Ari, I don't know if you're still in here, but I'm kind of wondering what your lineup's like this week. So feel free to post it if you're still in here, and we can talk a little bit about, you know, what we need to figure out, or if you have any questions about who you want to start and sit. For sure, Burke. Outside, of, I mean, you have your elite tight ends. Outside of that, it's yeah, yeah. I agree. I think a lot of people are worried about the tight ends in general, right? Because the Steelers, they have got a really good defense. I'm honestly not that low on the Titans far as this week. Yeah, the Steelers have a good defense, but the Titans have a pretty lethal offense right now. They're going to have to focus a lot on Derrick Henry. Then you have A.J. Brown, Jonnu Smith, and Corey Davis back, I believe, as well. So, I think they're a really great defense, but I don't know that they're going to be able to, like, the Titans are going to be putting up points, right? So someone's going to be scoring them, and between AJ Brown, Corey Davis, they're going to be getting a lot of looks, and you still have to worry about the biggest, baddest offensive weapon in the league, Derrick Henry. So, oh yeah, they're. I mean, it hurts for me to say as a Colts fan, but I agree. Their offense is tough, and they score a lot of points. Tannehill's been playing at a really high level, and he has been honestly since the end of last year. So yeah, I do think that yeah, I mean, a lot of people have Tannehill's like bottom 15, maybe even bottom 10 list of QBs to start this week, but I mean, you got really good guys, right? It's like I think they're gonna do well. I'm not that concerned about AJ Brown. I like him a lot this week. All right, so you got Rodgers. Okay. Who else do you have going on for the rest of your team here? I'm very curious. Burke, I'm very interested. If you're from Ireland, do you have a favorite team, or do you have a team that you cheer for? That'd be kind of cool to know. I'm always curious what people from outside of the states, what teams they like, what teams they don't like. Oh, are you guessing that's where? Okay. Oh, my bad. I thought you said you were from Ireland. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, Irie, are you from Ireland? And I guess Burke, where I was gonna say Burke, actually, where are you at, and what's your favorite team? Nah, it's good, dude. There's only a few people in here, so. Oh, nice. I love the Seahawks. I always really wanted an Andrew Luck and Russell Wilson Super Bowl. Unfortunately, we know what happened with Andrew Luck, and he kind of died, so that won't happen. But man, Russell Wilson is a monster. Alright, so let's see. Aaron Rodgers, Kamara, Rojo, Hopkins, AJ Brown, Galladay, James. Oh, geez, Monty, Richard Rodgers. Cool. I mean, like, how would you start? So you have Rodgers as your only quarterback, so there. Out of your running backs, you have Rojo, Kamara, James Robinson, David Montgomery. So out of those, I would probably choose Kamara and Ronald Jones. Your wide receivers, I would go Hopkins for sure. He's your stud. You start him. You play Galladay because my prediction is that Atlanta and Detroit, they're going to have one of the highest scoring games this week. So you go there. And then for your flex, I would say, man, it's AJ Brown or James Robinson. I mean, I don't know. What do the rest of you think? Burke, who would you go between James Robinson and AJ Brown? I mean, I like AJ Brown a lot. I know running backs tend to be a lot safer, but AJ Brown's been on fire the last 2 weeks, so I think you go for them. And then I say you start Younghoe Koo, Richard, AP, or Latavius Murray. Oh yeah, Sanders and Michael Thomas. I would start AP. I think that's a better play. I know we have to worry about DeAndre Swift, but I don't know. I know Latavius Murray has been doing okay this year because I didn't expect him to be behind Kamara, but he's been scoring in some games. But I still go AP. And like I said, I think Detroit and Atlanta, that's going to be a very high scoring game. So I would probably just stick with AP just for the opportunities there. Even like I don't think either him or DeAndre Swift are the primary backs yet, and I think they're both going to get a decent amount of volume. So I would personally go AP. Oh yeah, all right. So I mean, typically running, I agree exactly with what Burke said. You know, J Rob is a strong start. So Hopkins, Galladay, Kamara, and Rojo, you need to start them. Let's see what Burke said. I wouldn't mind pivoting off of J Rob because of the tougher matchup. But Brown also, yep. The only thing pushing me to Dre is Chris Thompson's out. Yep, exactly. So I reach so normally, and if anyone, Richard or Burke, you guys disagree, let me know. But I will say running backs are probably um, a little bit more reliable and more consistent, especially if you have like a RB1 of the team. I'm not saying like RB1 as in like you know Christian McCaffrey or whatever. I'm talking about like the starting running back of a team because usually they're going to get those touches and they're going to get the volume enough to score points, unless you're someone like a Damon Harris off the Patriots running back where everyone is getting like 5 touches a game. But yeah, I mean, Irie, if this is your first year in fantasy, like your team is stacked. So whatever you did, keep that up. That's a great team. But yeah, I would say normally running backs get a little bit more points. Wide receivers we've typically seen a little bit up and down where they have some really good weeks, some really bad weeks, unless you're an elite wide receiver. But like I said, AJ Brown has been scoring a lot over the last 2 weeks. Um, the only concern, and the reason I say this is because I've owned AJ Brown since the beginning, and he didn't do that well when he was healthy before he was injured, when Corey Davis was still in. So there's that factor, plus the Pittsburgh Steelers being a super defensive team. So what to do with AJ Brown? That's a good question. So I actually think he's going to be somewhat useful on that team. There's going to be a lot of mouths to feed between him, Evans, and Godwin. So if you can try and trade him, dangle him in front of some people and see if anyone will actually take him. So I think that could be a good choice. So like if you can get a good solid like RB2 or I mean, let's look at your team again. You have a really good team. If you can get like an elite wide receiver not a wide receiver, a tight end or something like that, that's the only thing I can see you improving on, right? Because Richard Rodgers is going to be relevant for another 2-3 weeks until Goddard's back, and it's going to be Goddard's team. So if you can't pick up Goddard or stash him, I would do that as well because you don't need 2 kickers. Keep Younghoe Koo. I like him a lot better than Lutz. And yeah, I would try and maybe trade for a solid tight end. Richard, Tannehill or Brady? So I've gotten this question actually a lot. So everyone is going to tell you, all the fantasy experts in every article you're going to read, they're going to tell you to go Brady. He has a better matchup, and he's still involved in a very good offense, and that you don't start Tannehill this week because of the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I mean, let's look at Tannehill's stats. He's been going off, and it's very, very hard for me to bench somebody like Tannehill. So he's the 10th ranked quarterback right now because he's had a bye, but like he scored almost 30 points last week, 28 points. The week before against Buffalo, he scored 30. So it's hard for me to bench him. The only reason I'm not starting him in one of my leagues is because I have Josh Allen going against the Jets, which I think is a really like that rank that puts me in the rank of like top 3 quarterbacks for the week. Otherwise, I don't know. I kind of have a feeling Tannehill is going to be like okay. Let's see what else is saying. So Burke says back to the Antonio Brown thing. Get rid of him. Someone will take him. Yep. Exactly, right? So Burke, I completely agree with you. I think if we can get a good, a decent value back, like not just a backup, someone we're hoping to be good, someone that's like a good starter, I absolutely think this is the best time to sell him. There's a chance that he can blow up. There's also a chance that he can be like a Josh Gordon type of wide receiver, like when he went to the Seahawks last year, where, he was okay, but he wasn't getting really averaging more than 10 points a game. I like Brady the rest of the season, but Tannehill this week. Yep, Burke says Tannehill's a shootout-looking game while Brady's against the Raiders who are heavily injured online. So, yep, exactly. And I agree with both of you guys, Burke and Irie. So Tannehill's been playing iffy teams, so he hasn't played a team, and that's true, right? And I agree. I think there's you guys all make very valid points. I think the best defense he's played so far is Buffalo, and he scored 30. Denver's okay defensive-wise. He scored 20, so it's a toss-up. I think Brady is. I think you're probably safe, right? Like, I don't think one's going to score 20 more points than the other. I guess if it was me, it's a little hard to bench Tannehill for someone like Brady, who isn't like, I wouldn't consider him like a top-tier fantasy quarterback anymore. He's had good games, right? And he's been doing well, and I mean, he's ranked number 12 right now, so it's fine, but Brady had, let's see, I mean, he had an 8-point game against Carolina. He had a 14-point game against Chicago, which is, very expected, but he only had 14 points against Green Bay. So I agree with Burke. I think there's a very good chance that they get out ahead early and not have to really use them or just rely on Fournette and Rojo. Irie, no, you don't need to keep two kickers at all. You never need to do that. Kickers and defenses are those positions that you don't want to keep 2 of. The only time you ever want to keep 2, which is I'm actually doing it this week, and it kind of sucks because I have, this scenario happens for both my kicker and defense, where I have to stash an extra 2 roster spots for them, is if you have a set and forget defense where someone like the Ravens or the Colts or the Bucks, where you don't care who the matchup is for most of the time, you just set and forget it, or like a kicker who's going to score you 10, 12 plus points a game, like something like a Justin Tucker or Rodrigo Blankenship. That's when you wanna. The only time you want to stash 2 is when they have a bye. You don't want to drop them because they are pretty valuable at the position, and you want to pick someone up. Otherwise, no, you don't want to keep 2 kickers. And Younghoe Koo is someone I think you should keep over Lutz. The Saints just haven't been that good, and Younghoe Koo has been really good with the combination of the Falcons offense sometimes going off and not being good enough all the time to give them the opportunities to kick those 40, 50 plus yard field goals. So, yeah, keep Younghoe. Richard, no problem, man. I'm glad I was able to help. Burke, that's interesting. We actually someone suggested it this year in my league, but it didn't pass. But yeah, see, kickers are tough, right? Sometimes they won't do anything for you. Sometimes they score better than your best running back and wide receiver. So, no, I get it. I mean, honestly, Irie, between the 2, I think Koo is the one to go to for sure. Because Lutz has been okay, right? He's and Lutz is by like, I mean, I feel like I don't know if you're keeping Lutz just for namesake, but I don't know that that's worth it. Like, Koo is to me in a completely different tier than Lutz right now. So if I were you, and Burke, Richard, let me know if you guys disagree. I would drop Lutz and just keep Koo and ride him for the rest of the season. And that's one of the players where you can just say, hey, I'm going to leave him there. I'm not going to touch him, and I'm not going to have to worry about him. Very solid kicker for sure. I'll be right back, guys. Just need to get some water. Be right back. Here's my cat in the meantime. Sorry about that, guys. I am back. Let me get this light back on. Hold on. Oh yeah, thank you guys. Honestly, I appreciate all of I recognize Burke has been here for a while. My channel is only 2 weeks young, so I definitely appreciate all of the support so far. And it's awesome to see that I can literally just open my stream up at midnight Pacific, super late, and have a few of you guys jump in. So that's awesome. And this is really cool that I feel like I could just jump in, talk to a few people about fantasy really quickly, go to sleep in a little bit, but yeah, just talk. Thank you. I appreciate that, Burke. And yeah, I mean, I definitely don't claim to have the best takes or anything. I'm just your average guy who tries to do his research and be able to provide a consolidated list for everyone to be able to, give the best analysis on and just really strategize it so we have the best chances of winning. Fantasy is it's a fun thing. And I mean, I know me, every Tuesday night, every Wednesday night and Saturday night, I stress about waiver wire, who to pick up, who to start. It's tough for sure. Right, Burke, just all of a sudden, yep. Just your average player, but I know. I'm kind of curious, how long has everyone here been playing? I know Irie has only been playing for, this is your first year, but Burke and Richard, how long have you guys been playing for? Richard says, Beasley's the only one I can drop to keep Rodrigo on my bench. Do I risk dropping Beasley to pick him? Yeah, so, I mean, I don't think you've posted this, Richard. Can you post and you might have done this in the comments, so I apologize if I forgot already, but could you post the rest of your team? Yeah, let's see what the lineup's like, because Beasley he's a solid wide receiver this year. He's always going to give you a solid forward. I don't know how high his ceiling is, but yeah, let's post the rest of your lineup and let's see if you can afford to get rid of Beasley. Okay, so Richardson playing for 4 years, Bergson playing 5 years ago when I finally got into football. Not really a Turkish thing. Nice. Do you still have does your family have a family league right now? Or does your family have a fantasy league that you guys play in? I got some friends and family to do it as well, and it's always really fun to see how that evolves, over the few years. The first year, everyone's just like, I don't know what I'm doing or whatever, but now, 2, 3 years later, everyone's getting super competitive about it, doing their research, and these are mom, dads, aunts, and uncles, and it's hilarious to see. Richard, not at all. Let's see the lineup. Everyone's got their own lineup, and I'm sure it's great. Oh no, Burke, what caused it? Did he draft some of those top players that got injured, or did he just not draft well? Ari says, Cleveland defense and Bucks. Looking at the playoffs, Cleveland has the best teams they've played. That's why I'm keeping them scared. Yeah, actually, let's look at the Browns defense. Or actually, let me just pull it up here. So Browns, I'm just gonna pull up and see what they have for the playoffs at least. I wouldn't play the Browns this week, but the Bucks are. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of curious what the Bucks playoff schedule is like, because they almost seem like they're someone that you could just kind of set and forget. Let's see. I don't know if the Browns defense is I mean, they have Jacksonville, right, week 12, but then they have Tennessee, Baltimore, week 13, 14. I mean, 15, 16 is great for New York Jets and New York Giants, but I mean, because fantasy playoffs start week 13 or week 14, right? Fall playoffs, let's see. Actually, let me just pull it up here. How many weeks do we have? I feel like once I get on stream and start talking about this stuff, I forget all the basic stuff. So schedule. Yeah, so we go into week 13. So I honestly don't know if the Browns have a great playoff schedule to start, you know? Because if we start in week 14, um, they've got some good teams they're playing right away. So week 14, the Browns have Baltimore. Week 13, they have Tennessee. So you'd have to get out of the first round first, yeah. Only play Browns. Yep, that's right. Oh, that's rough. I mean, I feel that I'm 3-3 in one of my leagues, second most points scored for, and I just had super bad luck with just people having their best weeks against me and not even great luck. All right, Richard, let's look at this. So, sorry, I'm just gonna catch up before. Who should I? Nobody's gonna hold on the Browns on when the exactly. Yep, I agree with you, Berg. I think you might be able to grab the Browns later on this because I don't see anyone really. I mean, probably people aren't gonna hold on to the Browns for the rest of the season just for the week, 14, 15. All right, Richard. So you have Tannehill, Justin Jackson, AP, Hopkins, Chark Jones, T. Higgins, Bucks defense, Gano, CMC, Joe Mixon, Ertz, Marquise Brown, Miles Sanders. Yeah, so I mean, you do have a lot of injuries, but I don't mind your team right now. Um, I like Tannehill for the rest of the season. I think he's going to keep up his production, and I think that's your QB1 for the rest of the season, so you're good there. Justin Jackson, I don't know that he's going to be that useful after Eckler comes back, but Eckler could always get injured. Um, I like your wide receivers, what I'll say, especially T. Higgins. But yeah, you really need McCaffrey, Mixon, and Miles Sanders to come back because you have those three guys healthy. That's a really really solid core. So it is injuries that kind of suck, but hopefully it should be soon. I think Mixon may be out 2-3 weeks, come back after the bye. McCaffrey hopefully back soon with the next 2 weeks, and Sanders, it might just be a 1 to 2 week injury as well. So out of those, so we were talking about Beasley before, I would say, I mean, honestly, you're gonna start Hopkins, you're gonna start Chark and T. Higgins every week, right? And you still have Marcus Brown. So like, ask yourself, are you ever gonna start Cole Beasley over any of those guys? I don't love Hollywood Brown that much this year because it seems like his connection with Lamar just isn't quite there yet. But would you really start Cole Beasley over him? So if you had to, I mean, Gano is not a bad kicker, but a little bit biased too. But I really like Blankenship. So I would, if you like him too, I would say Beasley would be the right person to drop for him. Irie 6-0 in week 4. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, Irie, like, again, I don't know that anyone's gonna hold the Browns for that long because they're not that elite of a defense. It's up to you really. If you have someone else that you can pick up that you think will be good, that's fine. If you feel very solid, which your team is very solid, feel free to hold on to those. But yeah, I guess you never know. You also need to, like, this is the thing with playoffs. No matter how good your regular season is, it doesn't matter after you get into the playoffs, right? You can have someone that starts 0-5 that gets in the playoffs that's gonna run the table. So you need to make sure you're set for day one of playoffs, and it sounds like you will. Especially with when your playoffs are 14, 15, 16 plus your bye. So, yeah, if you feel okay with it, you could hold on to the Browns, but that's definitely very, it's a long hold for the Browns. Yeah, no problem, Richard. You have a good team. The injury bug just sucks, so just hold on to it and try and survive for the next 2 to 3 weeks. And honestly, barring any more injuries, you should be okay. Berg, yeah, I agree. I would do that too. I just think if Irie really doesn't feel like he or she I'm assuming he needs that extra slot for anything. Like it's not the worst idea to plan way ahead, but that is still half the season away. So um, for me personally, it is a little bit longer than I would probably want to hold a defense just for streaming purposes. I agree with you though. Continue the questions if you guys have it, but I am kind of curious. So right now, for anyone of you that have watched my videos, I've I started very recently, very small channel still. So what I tried to do this week was do one waiver wire pickup and then starts and sits. Let me know if you guys like that, and let me know what else you guys want to do. Someone else brought up a good idea of maybe doing some research or making a video about like people who are currently on IR who might be a good pickup soon, or someone to keep out for, like someone like an Antonio Brown, but maybe 3 weeks ago. So that's something that I might look into. What teams do you like for the playoffs, strength of schedule wise? Are you strictly just talking about like defense for fantasy playoffs? No, just any player. To be honest, I haven't done my research on that yet, but that's actually a really good idea to start thinking about. I'm gonna take that down on my notes. I really like that. I will do my research, and in the next week or two, expect a video on playoff targets. The only thing is just that, like, that's one of the videos I thought about doing earlier on, but realistically, I think it's hard for people to think that far ahead, right? We're only in, what is it, week 6, week 7 right now, right? Let's see, what is it? Yeah, we're in week 7 right now, and we still have half the season to go. So that's a good thing. Let me do some research on that. I will put out maybe like a quick to the point list of players that I think I want to do, and maybe just continue to build off of that over the next few weeks after with more and more details. Yep. Okay. Yep. That's a good call. So I like that. So we'll do players to target in the playoffs, and I want to do maybe like IR stashes who are free agents. Richards says, oh, we have 2 Richards. What's up, Richards? All right, Justin Jackson or T. Higgins, wide receiver flex. So what's the latest on Justin Jackson? Because I heard some stuff about how he might have an injury. Let me see. Latest news is questionable. So if it were me, I would actually go. Okay, he's clear to go. I would go T. Higgins, honestly. The only reason I say that is because so like everyone's all aboard the Justin Jackson hype train right now, and I think there's a good chance that he produces solid like RB2 numbers this week. The only issue is we don't have a big enough sample size to know exactly what the split's gonna be. So I'm gonna pull up the last Chargers game, but I'm pretty sure like he outperformed Josh Kelly, right? And everyone's like Josh Kelly like it doesn't matter. He's not the actual running back. It's all Justin Jackson's backfield, but I'm pretty sure the targets or the rushes were pretty similar. So I'm gonna pull that up so I'm not just talking out of my ass. I agree. Yeah, Kelly's been on a big decline. And Richard Brack, give me 1 second. I will get to your question. Let's see. So, what up, Liam? Mean, how you doing? So if I look at the stats here, so the Chargers played the Saints, lost in the overtime. That was actually tough. So Justin Jackson got 15 carries. Josh Kelly got 11 carries. So, and then in the receiving game, Joshua Kelly got 1 target, 1 reception. Justin Jackson got 6 targets. So yeah, based off of that one game that we've had, Justin Jackson is the one to go to because he got more rushes and a lot more targets in the receiving game. I guess I'm not comfortable enough to say he's for sure the primary back. Um, T. Higgins has been on somewhat of a tear. Let me pull up the stats right now. He's been playing very solid, producing the numbers, and Burrow really likes him. So yeah, he's had a few really good games, and honestly, they threw all over Cleveland last time they played. So I know it might not be a popular opinion, but I'm kind of tempted to say maybe T. Higgins for wide receiver. I'd be curious to see who else you're starting on running back though. So feel free to post that so we can make sure that your other running backs are good. Richard Brock, Jamal Williams, or AP. Oh yeah, if it's between those, I would go Jamal. He doesn't have any competition in that backfield. AP is going to be splitting time with Swift, and I think Swift is probably going to get a little bit more of the volume. So even though I love all of the defensive players in the Detroit and Atlanta game, Jamal Williams might be a better bet here, and they're playing Houston, so it's not a defense to write home about. I think Williams is going to get a lot of looks both in the rushing game and passing game, so I like Jamal Williams a little bit better. Yeah, Lean Mean, I agree. I started to. Yeah, Lean Mean, how's your team looking for this week? Any questions? Yep, exactly, Burke. I mean, Higgins has been he's been doing really well. He had a slow start to the season, but week 3 against Philly, he went off. He went off last week for 6 receptions, 125 yards. I like T Higgins a lot. Richard, okay, Mike Davis and okay, that's fair. Yeah, so I don't think you can go wrong with either. I think Justin Jackson is going to be a good play. I think the Chargers are going to put up a lot of points. So I don't think either of them are bad plays. Flip a coin, go with your gut. I like T Higgins, but I also have Justin Jackson as a start for this week. Assuming he's clear and there's no injuries at all. But just be careful. Like there's a small chance that they might flip the game script and give Josh Kelly more carries. You never know. It's funny, fun fact for the viewers now. I went to college with Justin Jackson, so that was kind of cool. Um, with mixing out, they might exactly. Yep, I agree. Shaver drop Browns or Lutz for Trey Burton. Yes. So, all right, let me go back and look at your team again. So you have, I'm pretty sure you had a pretty solid tight end, right? But yeah, I was talking about it a little bit earlier. I like Trey Burton a lot. If you were to drop one, I would drop Lutz. There's a little bit more validity for you keeping the Browns if you really, really want to do it, but you have no reason to keep Lutz at all. So I would drop Lutz for Trey Burton. The only concern I had was McKinnon versus Gio. I like Gio a lot better. The Bengals are going to score. I see the San Francisco. I mean, unless I'm wrong, and you guys please tell me if I'm wrong. I I don't really know exactly what to make out of that backfield. There's a lot of guys there right now, and McKinnon should be the lead back, but there's McKinnon, there's Hasty. I don't know if Coleman's back this week, but there's also Jeff Wilson. So I like Gio is like the primary back, and he got a decent amount of touches last week, plus a score even with Mixon there. So I would go Gio. No, I already know. So Trey Burton is gonna, as of now, he is the leading tight end, and he is like, getting way more touches and targets than either Ali Cox or Doyle. So Trey Burton is the tight end to own. I can tell you that with full confidence. Richard, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, just play T Higgins. I like it. I mean, I don't know if safe is the right word because I think they're both really good bets. I think you're safe playing Justin or T Higgins. At the end of the day, it might be the difference between only a few points, but I like both of those matchups. Yeah, Irie, I would drop your kicker for Trey Burton for sure. Yeah, exactly. Like I said earlier, Richard Rodgers, he's a 2-3 week rental at most because not Ertz, Goddard's gonna be coming back soon, so you can't trust Richard Rodgers for that long. So yeah, get Trey Burton because people will probably forgot about him and because they have a bye week. So do that. McKinnon, yep, exactly. Yeah, Burke. And I mean, if anyone knows more about like the San Francisco backfield at all, it's I don't know what to make out of it. Rondo, what's up, man? Thanks for coming in. Would you play Higgins over Scary Terry? Also, with the last second injury to Aaron Jones, do you think rookie? Gotcha. So Scary Terry is actually my wide receiver start of the week. I made a video this week, so feel free to check it out for starts and sits. And I had Terry McLaurin as my favorite matchup. They're playing a Dallas defense, and when I say Dallas defense, I say Dallas defense. It's on a historic bad pace right now. And if you think about the Washington team, like they're going to be scoring points just because they're playing Dallas, and they don't really have anyone else to throw to. So besides McKissick, who's going to be involved in the passing game as running back, Gibson, who's going to be running all over that defense. I really, really like Scary Terry tomorrow, so I would actually start Scary Terry over that. And see, yeah, AJ Dillon, yes, I think so. I don't know that he's gonna. There's always a possibility. You don't really know, right? I think Jamal Williams is the go-to guy. He looked good a few weeks ago, and I actually had him as one of my top waiver wire pickups before the Aaron Jones. So I think it was week 6. I believe so. Fact check me on that. But yeah, I definitely had him in one of my previous videos. I thought people should pick him up because he was going to be one of the top lottery handcuffs, including Gio. I said people go pick up Jamal Williams. I said people go pick up Gio. And if I had a few more viewers or started earlier, people may have been able to jump on that train. But there's always a chance. But I would start Jamal Williams with confidence. Richard, thoughts on Dallas Goedert? I like him a lot. I actually also had him as one of my must pickups if he's still available. I didn't think he was going to come back this week. It was a short week with a Thursday night game. He was just eligible to come off of IR, so I expect him to be back next game, if not the following game at the latest. But Goddard is going to be a solid tight end for the rest of the season. He's going to get, Carson just loves to target his tight ends, and we saw with Richard Rodgers this week, right? Richard Rodgers, who knows about him, right? I think the only thing I know about him was that he was a dude that caught that Hail Mary from Aaron Rodgers, right? So, hopefully I'm talking about the right guy. Yeah, that definitely is him. So he's irrelevant, but when he was a starting tight end for the Eagles, he got a bunch of targets, a bunch of receptions, a bunch of yards. So Goddard, go pick him up. Started him with the rest of the season. You have Jonnu. Oh, okay. I should have read the rest of your message. I would say Jonnu, Goddard, Henry, but honestly, I wonder if I even like Goddard a little bit better than Jonnu. I love Jonnu, and he's been performing really, really well, but I feel like Goddard is higher on the the food chain on the Eagles, and Jonnu is on the Titans because there's also Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, Corey Davis, and now Adam Humphries. Daniel Padilla, what's up, man? Sorry, I'm just got to your question. Godwin or Higgins? You gotta go Godwin. There are a lot of mouths to feed, but Godwin has been outperforming Evans. His production is pretty abysmal when Godwin's there, so he seems like more of the wide receiver 1, even though a lot of people thought Mike Evans was the primary guy. Only reason I say Godwin over Higgins is because Godwin is the proven vet. We know what he can do. He's got Brady behind the helm. Higgins is gonna play really well as well tomorrow, but it's more just like Godwin is a higher tier receiver than Higgins is. He's a better receiver at the moment, and he has proven a lot versus the rookie who is still continuing to prove himself. So I would go Godwin. Irie, is Ertz done? Ertz is droppable. The only reason people are holding him at all this year is because of his name. He was getting less volume than Goddard when they were both healthy. When Goddard was down, Ertz still wasn't producing, and there was a little bit of trade drama with Ertz earlier this year anyway, so I don't think you should trade for Goddard, especially if you have to give up players. If you can get Trey Burton for free, get him for free. I like both Goddard and Trey Burton for the rest of the season, but you got to think about what you have to pay for either one of them, and if one of them is going to be completely free, stay with it. Lean Mean, bring my team. So Russell, we got Wilson, Carson, McCaffrey, Miles Sanders, Jackson, Edmonds, Michael Thomas, Fuller, Higgins, Mark Andrews. I like the team a lot. I think you have a really, really good core for running backs, especially when CMC comes back and Sanders comes back. You might feel a little bit of tightness right now because you're starting Carson, Jackson, and I don't know if you have Boston Scott, so that's good. So you have McKinnon, Boston Scott, and Bernard. So yeah, so your full-time running backs are going to be Carson, CMC, Miles Sanders, and really that's it because the other guys are backups. So that's a solid core. Fuller, Higgins are both really good as well. I don't know what's going on with Michael Thomas. There's a lot of drama, and in my last stream, I kind of predicted that there's going to be more drama, and I actually even said I think there's a chance he might get traded, and today trade rumors came out, so we need Michael Thomas to come back. If everyone's 100% and fully healthy, you have a solid team. But yeah, I mean, honestly, good depth right now. You know, you're backing up Miles Sanders. You have Zhou for a few days, a few weeks. So I think it's a solid team. Oh yeah, and you're 5-1. Exactly. I agree. Ertz is done. Dropped him. Don't even pick him up. It's people are the only reason people are going to roster him is because of his name. And yeah, Vagina, hopefully I'm not butchering your name, but I expected you to be somewhere like 6-0, 5-1 with that team. That's a solid team. Yep, no problem. Burke says, Lean, I'd go for another top 12. Yep, and that's actually what I was thinking is that, so you have, like I said, if everyone's 100% healthy, you have a solid core. Michael Thomas, we don't know when he's going to be back or what the hell is going on with him. Higgins is on his way up. He's not a solid, top tier wide receiver just yet. And Fuller, yes, he's a wide receiver 100% when he's healthy, but I don't want to predict he's going to get injured, but I don't think he's had a full healthy season yet. And he's just a very injury prone player. So I think what Burke said is complete, right? You know, you have all of these sort of back end pieces with your running back. So I wonder if you can maybe package someone like a Gio Bernard and Higgins to maybe, the mix and owner for a wide receiver 1. Even if McKinnon goes off this week, maybe try and package him plus a Higgins or even a Fuller for a Devontae Adams or Julio Jones or something like that. Mostert might not be back for a while, so if McKinnon shows off tomorrow and he just goes off, it could be a good time to sell him high. Richard, I like Miles Sanders a little bit more than David Montgomery. I was talking in my last stream about how I didn't love David Montgomery because of his volume, but someone in my comments actually, we had a discussion. His volume for rushing and receptions are actually going up a little bit. I don't love either the Bears or Eagles defense, right? Offense, but I think Sanders has a little bit more opportunity down the line for points, and I think the Eagles are going to probably score a little bit more than the Bears. So I kind of like Miles Sanders better. Rondo, yep, Godwin is healthier than Evans, exactly. So I mean, Godwin is the wide receiver to own there. Irie, so where are you from right now? 10 p.m. Let us know where you're at. Gilbert, what's up, man? Hey, sorry, I'm just getting to your thing. Yeah, I know, late night, right? I wasn't expecting all of you guys here. Thank you for coming. So Brady or Newton? If you're just talking about this week, let me pull up my ranking list. I think I have Brady a little bit higher than Newton. I think the Patriots are going to struggle a little bit against the 49ers this week. They have a solid defense. Let me look. Okay, so actually on my list, I have them almost back-to-back. I have Cam Newton as my QB 10 and Tom Brady as my QB 12. And the only reason is honestly because the Patriots don't use their running backs at all, right? Once they're near the goal line, they literally just go heavy package with Cam Newton and a QB dive. So that's where it's going to save you some points. But I think he's got a tough matchup against San Francisco this week. Let me know what everyone else thinks. Irie, I will get back to your question right now. Yeah, Lean, I agree. Yeah, try and go for it. I am actually in California. Where are you from? Oh, you're in Arizona. Okay. Oh, Irie's from Hawaii. That's sick. Aloha, man. That's far away. I was trying to go to Hawaii this year too, but I know you guys got some quarantine restrictions right now, so unfortunately I can't. Flights from California to Hawaii is really, really cheap right now. It's really tempting, but this might not be the best time to go. Arizona, I really want to go to Arizona. I actually just took a road trip through Utah, and I wanted to go through Arizona, but we didn't have time. But Arizona is one of the places I really want to go to. Ty, what's up? How do you feel about Antonio Gibson rest of the season? I have Sanders and Kamara as my main running backs. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me. So, Irie, if you stay on for a little bit, let me know if you do need to take off. But let me. I do have a list of sleepers I will pull up, but let me answer some other questions first. Antonio Gibson versus season. You have Sanders and Kamara as main running backs with Scott as a handcuff. Okay, great. Um, I I don't think Gibson has a lot of high upside. So in one of my previous videos, I actually talked about picking up McKissick. Um, for this is how I feel. So Gibson is obviously the main running back, but McKissick's been getting a few looks as a rusher, but he's mainly used the passing game as a check down person. So my feeling is with the Washington team, every week besides this week, they're going to be playing from behind a lot. And with either Kyle Allen or Alex Smith at the helm, I think they're going to check down a lot to their running backs as well. I don't really see them as deep throwers or just gunslingers. So every week outside of the Cowboys this week, I think they're going to be playing from behind and having to use McKissick a lot more than Gibson. So I personally don't love Gibson that much. Rondo, how do you feel about Josh Jacobs this week? DK, nice. Josh Jacobs, he's gonna have a little bit of a tough time, but I think he's still an okay play because he gets a lot of volume. He's gonna get the 15 to 17 plus touches for sure, and he's probably gonna be due for a touchdown. So I like him. I think he's good. I don't consider him as a top tier play this week. Um, I mean, I have him in my top 10 running backs. I had to pull up my list. I don't think he's gonna pop off, but I still think he's gonna be pretty decent this week. DK, yeah, I think I mean, I'm gonna pull up these stats as we talk, so I don't say anything wrong. DK, someone I've been trying to trade for in a lot of my leagues. He's currently the number 5 wide receiver with a bye already, so with one less game than a bunch of other people in half PPR. And I mean, I think he has some historic record where or maybe not historic record, but he's the only wide receiver I believe right now who's scored 90 yards in every single one of his games. So I think he's going to continue to do it. Man, I wish I drafted him in any of my leagues. He's a solid fantasy player. I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up as wide receiver 1 for the rest of the season. Gilbert, oh nice, from SoCal heading to Hawaii in 36 days, nice. Gilbert, if you don't mind me asking, well, number one, which part of SoCal are you from, and are you worried about any sort of travel restrictions going to Hawaii? Do you have to quarantine or anything? Burke says if Newton and the Pats picked up their passing offense. Oh, for sure. I agree. I think the Pats need to figure something out. They need to start using their running game a little bit more, and maybe when Sonny Mitchell comes back, it'll be a little bit better. But yeah, they looked a little stale against Denver last week. I agree. I know, right? Yeah, I hope the quarantine gets lifted. I don't know what the quarantine status is now, but yeah, it's so cheap from SoCal to Hawaii. Yeah, Ty, no problem, man. Let me know if anyone disagrees with Gibson, but that's honestly my take. It's honestly not him as a running back. It's the Washington Redskins as a team and how, non-lethal their offense is. Who else do you want to trade for besides DK? Yeah, so I kind of like Will Fuller. I don't think his name brings people up as wide receiver status, but I do like him, assuming he can stay healthy. You can never predict someone getting injured, right? But the thing is just, we have the numbers on how many games Will Fuller's been playing, and he just hasn't played a full season. So that's tough. And another person I really like is Jonathan Taylor. I think he's been pretty, average, but I mean, him plus that Colts O-line, it's only going to get better, and they haven't honestly rushed him that much. I think, around 15 carries, 12 to 15 carries a game, so I expect that to go up. I think Jonathan Taylor is going to end up as Maybe a top 7 back rest of the season. Oh, Burke for sure. I mean, I don't think anyone, even like, I don't know if you as a Seahawks fan thought he was going to be like this, but man, like DK took a step up this year, and he's such a good wide receiver. Oh, thanks to Lee Mean. I appreciate it, man. Just, hope to see you in a future stream, and hope to see you in the comment sections. Good luck this week, and let me know how you do this week. Hopefully I don't give you any wrong advice, but nice, Cole. Yeah, that should be fun, Gilbert. And with test results within 50, oh, that's awesome. So do you have to quarantine at all when you get to Hawaii? Rondo, I'm hoping DK is another primetime show. I agree. Yeah, I do too. I think he will. I mean, a player like this, if he's been hot 5 games in a row, keep on riding that. Like, there's no reason to think he's not going to continue to produce. All right, Richard. So you're a 5-1 team. Let's rate your team. So everyone in chat, let's take a look. So we have Mahomes, Herbert as a QB. Love that. I told everyone in my week 6 video, my first video actually, to pick up Herbert. I really like him. So you're set at QB for the rest of the season. For wide receivers, you have Ridley, McLaurin. That's great. Those are both, wide receiver 1 statuses in my eyes. Running backs, you have Elliott, Mike Davis. So that's good. I'm going to take a look at your bench. The one thing I guess that stands out about running back is Mike Davis is probably only going to be relevant for a few more weeks. Tight ends, Henry, Flex, Higgins. Bench, you have Justin Jackson, Jonnu Smith, Montgomery. Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. So you're actually okay at running backs with Miles Sanders and Montgomery. The tight end, you're actually... So I like Jonnu Smith better than Hunter Henry, so you should be set at tight end. Your wide receivers, so you're maining Ridley, McLaurin, and Higgins, so that's going to be solid for you. So what I guess what I would say is, if you could, maybe try and package someone up with a David Montgomery or Miles Sanders to see if he can trade up for a more solid running back one. Something I mean, it's going to be a stretch, but maybe like a Dalvin Cook. I don't even want to say Joe Mixon, because right now I think he still has a lot to prove to be, on a tier above someone like Miles Sanders. But, with Miles Sanders plus maybe even with like a Hunter Henry, if Hunter Henry goes off the next 2 weeks, I think you should try and upgrade at running back if you can. Otherwise, you're set at QB, and I do really like your wide receivers. The other thing that you can also say is, you can try and, instead of trying to go for a better back, you can try and trade for a more solid third wide receiver for depth. A DK Beckett, you can get it, a Julio Jones, or I guess actually not Julio Jones because you have Ridley, but Higgins, I think he's got a solid floor, and he's just continuing, his stock is going to continue to rise. But there's always something to be said for the Bengals offense with a rookie QB, that there is maybe a little bit of doubt there, but we'll see. Otherwise, solid team, and explains very much why you're 5-1. So going back to Hawaii, there used to be a 7-day quarantine that got lifted a month. Oh, okay, so that's awesome. Okay, so that's actually something good to consider. Maybe when winter comes, even though it's still very warm in SoCal and we can't really complain about the weather or anything, it would be fun to go to Hawaii. I guess the one thing I would be curious, and Ari, I don't know if you're still in here, but are things open in Hawaii? Like, if visitors came, is there still a lot to do and stuff like that? Yo, Luke, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Man, all these late nighters. I was not expecting this. I appreciate everyone here. Luke, how's your team looking for this week? Hope you're feeling good. Hope your lineup's set. Oh, Ty, yeah, picking him and Gibson. Yeah, so we were talking about Antonio Brown a little bit earlier. So if you can right now, if you offer somebody Antonio Brown and Gibson, and you can get a solid top tier wide receiver or running back 2 or a running back 1, do it. it all depends on how risk adverse you are, how much you want to take the risk on him. I think Antonio Brown is going to he's going to be a factor in that offense. But assuming that him, Evans, and Godwin are all healthy, there's a lot of mouths to feed, and they still have a really good running game in Rojo and Fournette backing that up. So it's not like they're a super pass heavy team, right? So Antonio Brown's, I will say, so I don't think he's going to be the Antonio Brown that we used to know, where Antonio Brown is a potential #1 pick in any format league. He could still average maybe somewhere between 9 to 14 points a game, which is like a solid production, but a lot of things have to go well for him to do that. So I would honestly say, unless he blows up, his value based on his name and the team that he's going to right now is probably at a pretty high spot. So if you can get a really solid running back for Antonio Brown and Gibson, I would do that right away. Say you want to trade for Cook. Rich, are you talking about Dalvin Cook, I'm assuming? Our restaurants are open but limited to 5 people dine in. Malls finally reopened. Oh yeah, guy from Chicago, Texas, and Arizona. It seems like yeah, yep, yeah. And honestly, I traveled a little bit. A lot of states in America right now are. I think there's a lot of places that are super loose, especially like in the middle. Like I said, I was traveling. I did a road trip from Chicago to LA, and a lot of states and cities almost act like it doesn't exist COVID, so it's a little tough. But no, that's good that Hawaii is starting to open up, and I hope that us visitors or potential visitors don't mess it up for you guys. Burke says, if your trade gives you a solid start, there's nobody waiting for Brown potential. Exactly. The name is gonna give you a very high value right now, so go for it. Dalvin Cook. All right, so Luke, right before we go to you, let's see. So you, what would you give up for Dalvin Cook? And I'm gonna scroll up to your. So for Dalvin Cook, let's see. I mean, we're all on the same team, right? We're all Team Richard right now. If you could give up Higgins and Miles Sanders, that would be great. But as a Cook owner, man, if I was a Cook owner, I would probably play hardball. I would say hey, you're gonna have to give me McLaurin or Ridley plus Miles Sanders, or you're gonna have to give me someone because you don't want to give up Zeke, right? If you're giving up Zeke for Cook, it doesn't really make sense that much. I mean, I don't know, chat. Let me know what you guys think. I say try and package Higgins and maybe Miles for a Cook and see if they bite, but that's gonna be tough. And like Rondo said, it really depends on what they're lacking in roster. If they're lacking a tight end and Hunter Henry goes off, or honestly, if you feel okay with Hunter Henry being able to produce 5 to 10 points a week, you might be able to trade off Jonnu Smith and someone like a Miles Sanders for it. Because if I was a Dalvin Cook owner, I would say, okay, well, hey, you want one of the best running backs in the league, you're going to have to give me a starter back and a running back. So someone like a Miles Sanders, if they feel okay with him, plus another starter that I'm going to be able to use. So I would want, if it's a tight end, which is less appealing, I want a top tier tight end. So you need Jonnu Smith to continue to produce 1 or 2 TDs a week, or someone like a Calvin Ridley, who I know is a solid starter, which I don't know if you would do there. Luke says, okay, you've got Stafford, Jacobs, Edwards-Helaire, Julio, A-Rob, Hawkinson, A.J. Brown, Badgley, Ramsey. I got Herbert, Fournette, Gio, Bernard, Justin Jackson. Okay, nice. Yeah, Luke, that's a solid thought. Man, all of you guys are 5-1, 6-0 coming into chat, making me feel super bad about my team. So damn, good job, you guys. Mask required to go everywhere here. If you don't wear masks, oh, I mean, good. I'm glad you guys are doing that. That's very similar to a lot of states here, at least in Southern California. They're a lot stricter, and honestly, people are kind of, very LA about, hey, you have to wear a mask no matter what you're doing. But that's good. I'm glad to hear that. I agree. Yeah, Bergen, that's what I'm thinking. And that's the thing is they would really have to love Sanders, or Sanders has to come back next week and just go off. But I agree. If I was if I was a Cook owner, I would want Zeke or Ridley back, and that's tough. I mean, if you want Cook, he's one of the top fantasy running backs. You're gonna have to pay up, and that's a problem. Ronda, okay, 2 and 4, so yeah, it makes me feel a little bit better. Burke 4 and 2. I mean, 4 and 2 is still solid. Den P, what's up, man? All right, you got DJ Chark, Kenan Allen, DJ Moore, C. You need to bench one. Let me pull up my wide receiver list that I have this week, and I will tell you how I ranked them. And let's see if I can give you a good explanation. So, let's see who we have. We have Chark, okay. Allen. I'm assuming you're talking about Kenan Allen, not Allen Robinson. DJ Moore, CD. Sorry guys, my cat's jumping all over the place. And CD. So actually out of those, that's a tough one. So my highest ranked one is going to be Kenan Allen. Then I have DJ Moore and CD ranked sort of next tier, and DJ Chark last, purely based off of the defense that they're playing. Yep. I would maybe I would probably bench Chark or DJ. Chat, what do the rest of you think? I'm telling you, just pick up Trey Burton. I think you'll be set once you pick him up. Yeah, Gilbert, I agree. Oh, that's true. You have Mahomes and Herbert. If you do offer Mahomes, you might be able to give less. That's only if you feel okay with Herbert for the rest of the season. I agree. Kittle, Kelsey, you need to have. I mean, Mark Andrews has been actually okay, or like Jonnu Smith, but like that's the problem with tight ends every year, right? It's just that you need to have an elite, top 1 to 3, or else it's just such a bad position. But everyone in chat, if you guys need a tight end, and if Trey Burton's still there, go pick him up. Burke, yep, I agree. Mahomes, the thing is, Davis is going to be a 2-3 more week rental at most, so I wouldn't take that unless you're, again, a lot of it depends on whether, like, what the Cook owner needs, what their record is. If they're like 2 and 4, 3 and 3, they might be desperate and they might take something a little bit less value, but yeah, for sure. Luke says CD, so I think that's fair. The only reason I didn't say CD is because I think a lot of people, I mean, obviously Dalvin didn't have a great game last week, but he still threw 54 times, and CD and Amari both had I think 10 or 11 targets each. So the only reason I don't say CD, and who are the Cowboys playing this week? I don't think they're playing anyone. They're playing Washington. So like, I really think CD is going to actually get a lot of looks and get a lot of just kind of like short receptions here and there. That's going to add up, especially in half PPR or full PPR. Ronda says Ben Chark. Yep. Yeah, Den. Good luck. That line. Yep. Ronda. Exactly. And that's the thing is like Chark is he's a decent wide receiver, right? But like, I mean, I think him and Keelan Cole are both going to get a lot of looks, but they are playing a Chargers D. That's going to be a little bit better since they're getting a few injured players back. So, should I start Gio over DJ? Yeah, I like Gio a lot. Gio, I think, is going to get a lot of Gio or Raciti. Yeah, if it's Gio or Raciti, I would say Gio for sure because he's more for sure. I like CD. If we're only looking at receivers, the only reason, like I said, I like CD is because purely based off of the volume that he's going to get. I still think he's going to get looked at least 10 times, and I think he, just based on the fact that it's going to be a very, all over the place game, Cowboys and Washington. Like, I think CD is going to get volume. But yeah, Gio, I would say for sure, over CD. Okay, Luke says he would bench TJ too. Cool. So yeah, I'm glad you agree. CD is deep threat, low percent target, and Dallas play lead. I mean, maybe Zeke looked bad. I guess I don't know how good the Washington D line is off the top of my head, but I mean I agree with you. So at the I guess the one thing I would disagree with, and maybe I'm wrong on this, is I actually don't know that CD is completely the deep threat. The little bit of the Cowboys game that I watched last week, he actually was used a lot for just like short curl routes, short slants like that. Um, so if I go back to week 6 and let's just look at the numbers to see what it is. If anyone here is a Cowboys fan or really watch the game or follow them, let me know if I'm wrong. But if I'm looking at the Cowboys right now, obviously they got blown out with the Cardinals. But if we look at the stats, um, so yeah, like I said, Andy Dalton threw it 54 times, even though he only got 266 yards is all right. He only got one touchdown, but he still threw 56 times or 54 times. Zeke only ran 12 times, and if we look at if we look at the targets, CeeDee Lamb got the most targets on the team over Amari Cooper. CeeDee got 11 targets, Amari got 10, Zeke got 10. Yes, they're going to be playing the Washington football team, but it might not be as much of a blowout as people think. I think there's a good chance that, I think there's a no. I don't like Gallup this year. Gallup hasn't been showing up. He got almost half the targets as CD. I think people actually realize that, or I think they realize CD Lamb is like a way better wide receiver in their eyes than Gallup. So Gallup's been struggling this year. Rondo, exactly. It's Andy Dalton, and I'm not giving up on him just yet. It might just been like first game. Let's get to know everybody, but a very bad game fantasy wise from Dalton. I'm still baited in a little bit by the 54 attempts. Like that's a lot of throwing attempts. So yeah, Galaxy. Yep. It's very likely Washington. I think so too. We might see the upset of the week in Washington over the boys. I mean, I think people are still a little high on the Cowboys because of Dak. But even with Dak, like, just you guys got to realize how bad the Cowboys defense is. That like, even if Dalton starts clicking a little bit, which I don't expect a huge improvement over last week, I don't know that they're gonna be that lethal offensively. And Gilbert, Zeke better not wear those stupid. Oh, yeah, that was so bad. Like Zeke I don't know if that was the worst game of his career, but that was really, really bad. Andy Dalton being the backup has more reps with the rookies and second strings. That's true. And that's actually a really, really fair play. Like he's probably a little bit, but I still don't like Gallup this year. I don't know what's going on. I would honestly love to have Gallup on my Colts this year because we need Colts help. We need help on the receiving end, but just CD and Cooper are just getting a lot more targets right now. I think Dunn was not to blame for the game. Yeah, O-line is awful as well. Zeke is down. I mean, that's the thing, right? If the O-line's not playing well and your, Pro Bowl running back is having like just butterfingers all game, that's a lot of pressure on Dalton. And I agree. I don't think the Cowboys are good. This is the thing. It's honestly it's the defense. That offense, if Dak is healthy, that offense is really, really good. They have so many weapons, and Dak was playing like he was going to set some records this year before he got injured, and like that really sucks. Again, I honestly really hope that he comes to the Colts this year, and Jerry just does Jerry Jones and doesn't pay him. I would love him on the Colts with that O-line, with our defense. Holy cow! Like Dak is my dream quarterback for next year. But yeah, the Cowboys are very, very like the thing is if the Cowboys had like an okay defense, like I might even say average, right? If it's like okay, like maybe a little bit below average, they could be 5-1, 6-0 right now. But that defense is just like so bad that they are literally making a historically good offense start 2-3, 1-3 or whatever. It's so bad. Oh, Denp, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I hope you continue, to come in, ask questions, and come to some more streams. That's awesome. I appreciate the subscription. Everyone said, "Yep, exactly." Yep, I think so too. I mean, I think I don't know that I I don't know the stat off my head, but I also know that like he was the league leader in passing yards by far, and it's been what 2 weeks since he got injured, and he's still like ahead of Carson Wentz, who already played his game this week. So it's crazy. Yeah, and that's true. I feel so bad for Dak. Like, Jerry won't pay him, gets franchise tagged, plays his heart out. I mean, bless the dude. I feel like I'm not a Cowboys fan, and I'm like, I have nothing against him, but like, I feel so bad for Dak. Like, this was his prove-it year. He was gonna be like, I'm gonna set all these like records. I'm gonna have an historically good year to show you guys I'm worth it. And like, I think he really wants to be a Cowboy. But man, that's I feel so bad for him. And hey, like, come to the Colts, please, Dak. If you're for some reason chilling in your bed right now in the stream right now, welcome to the stream first of all. But please come to the Colts next year. Let's see. Richard, good night, man. Yeah, good luck to everyone, and I hope to see you soon. Den P. So, okay, Gio, Jamal Williams, Henderson, Singletary. Will definitely be back. Oh yeah. So actually, I don't know. So that's for anyone who's still here. So I'm kind of curious. I want to know. So I'm first of all very thankful for the ton of you guys that's in here right now because it's 1:30 my time. I just jumped on honestly because I was where I wanted to see anyone was here. So thank you for joining. So right now, I don't have a set schedule, and I kind of want to develop one based off what you guys would like. So every Tuesday, I'm gonna post a waiver wire pickup video, and I think. Good night, Luke. Thank you for coming in. I'm gonna post a waiver wire video on Tuesday, and I think I'm gonna stream Tuesday night to talk a little bit about those and just talk through people who want to add stuff, drop stuff based off of waiver priority and whatnot. So I think I'm gonna stream Tuesday nights, and I definitely want to stream before the games. So I'm thinking about streaming maybe Thursday night as well. Although I don't know if that people care for Thursday night games. So, I mean, let me know what you guys prefer, like if it's better to maybe stream Saturday night. And also, like, it seems like we have people all over the place. Obviously I'm going to try and stream a little bit earlier so that our Central and East Coast friends are also able to join. So that's something to think about, but I think it'd be cool to be able to stream at least 2 to 3 times a week for sure. Burke, I do have work. I work full time, so that's why it's I'm trying to churn out as many videos as possible. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be someone like one of the more popular fantasy channels where they literally are churning out 2-3 videos a day or even every single day. So what I'm going to try and do is just produce as much quality as possible and not just go over the board and produce like 20 videos a week. I'll focus on waiver wire starts and sits, and then we'll maybe do a miscellaneous topic every week. Ty, do you think it's better to trade for a near top tier tight end or RB2? Trying to see if I can pull a package AB, Gibson, Goddard for owner that has Waller and James Robinson. That's not a bad trade. I think you upgrade, add running back. I think a lot of people are down on Robinson. It really just depends on your team. I think you need a solid at least 3-4 running back on your team. One of my leagues that I'm more competitive in, I am actually stashing 5 starting running backs that I'm trying to ship out, but injuries happen all the time. Top tier, I mean, Waller and Andrews, I don't know if I mean, they are very good, and they're top of the line, but I wouldn't, like, top tier I would consider as, like, Kelsey or Kittle, where they're going to be putting up wide receiver 1, running back 1 numbers almost every week. I think Andrews and Waller's have had their good games, but they also have their ups and downs, so I don't know if I would give a ship for Andrews or Waller, only for someone like a trust Kelsey or Kittle. In this case, I don't think it's a bad choice if you want to try and get that, especially if you're okay at wide receiver. But if you're thin at wide receiver, I would maybe hold AB and see how he does. How much waiver adders should you save for the playoffs per week? I don't know what your league does, but my league, we do waiver wire priority, and it's rolling. So if you use it 1 week and no one else uses, you go to the bottom of the list and someone else goes up. So like if I'm waiver wire 1 right now and I don't use it until the playoffs, I keep that. The only time I go down is if I put in a priority, I get whoever I want, and then I move to the bottom of the list. So what's yours like? Ty, he's weak at wide receiver and his troubles are. Yeah, so Ty, so how are you at wide receiver? Um if you're okay at wide receiver, I think that's a decent trade. I do like James Robinson over Gibson a little bit. But I mean, honestly, see if you can trade that without giving out Goddard. Maybe see if you can just do AB and Gibson for Waller and Robinson. I don't know that you need to give 3 for those 2 because I don't think Waller's going to be that much higher of a tight end potentially rest of the season, and I only think James Robinson's maybe a little bit better than Gibson, or people will perceive that. So maybe try and trade 2 for 2. Yep, Rondo exactly. Quality over quantity, and Brick for sure. I mean, I'm also not trying to be better than anyone else. I want to just, add my own personality and all my own thoughts to the community. I think there's a lot of really, really great fantasy accounts out there, fantasy YouTubers who do it well. I just, more bring up the quantity thing because a lot of them, that's what they do full time. They have 14, 15, 20K plus subs, which is awesome. So obviously they're very good at what they do. But yeah, I mean, I definitely want to try and find a little niche or something more unique to do within this sort of already very oversaturated just topic to be able to provide at least, different quality and my own unique personality. Denp, oh geez, Rondo, who was that? That's kind of wild. Let's see, Denp, I traded Kamara for Elaire, Thielen, DJ Moore for everybody. Oh, geez. I mean, that you got a lot back, so that's great. Keeper League, especially with Elaire, that's awesome. I think that's great. Trade targets for early in the week. I'm big into trading. I was thinking, okay, I'll write that down. So trade targets early in the week. Don't post until Wednesday. Okay, that's something good to think about. So I will definitely keep that in mind. Do I game? So Rondo, if you're talking about video games, I do. So right now I'm playing a lot of Valorant with my friends. I will also be playing Destiny when the new expansion comes out in November. Otherwise, so I'm mainly a PC gamer, but I do have an Xbox and PS4 as well, and Switch. So with my girlfriend, I'm actually playing a lot of Animal Crossing and doing a little bit of Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption on Xbox right now. Not real in-depth situation analyst. Damn, Gilbert, I think I'm taking your context your comment a little bit out of context. I'm sorry if I missed sort of the last conversation. Ty, yeah, I'm pretty solid wide receiver. Yeah. Oh, you have Fan as your current tight end. So honestly, yeah, I would just. I mean, I think that's okay. Maybe just try and trade Goddard, and I mean, no, that wouldn't be tough. I don't think you need Waller back necessarily. Fan, I think, is going to be a good tight end to keep, and I kind of like Drew Lock. Honestly, I like it a lot what I see out of him, even though he might not be a fantasy quarterback very good. At that point, I would just maybe try and package something up and just try and trade up for James Robinson. Maybe, I don't really think you need to trade tight ends. I mean, I know Waller has been performing a lot, but I don't know that you're going to get a lot of benefit from swapping Goddard for Waller, especially when they're sort of your depth and you already have fans. So I would try and give up a little bit less to try and get James Robinson. Okay, so Irie, yeah, so Rondo, what are you game? What do you game? I'm assuming maybe you do it as well since you asked about it. Irie, so if you have waiver wire priority 1, we talked about this. You have a solid team, right? I would save it. Waiver wire priority 1 is a very, very good thing to have. So save it for someone, if someone goes down, if a Mixon goes down and he's out for the rest of the season, you go pick up Giovanni Bernard right away. So you want to wait for those times. And if you don't need to use it right now, just don't use it, just use it. Save it and, kind of work if you want to play around with stashes or people you want to potentially pick up. Wait until it goes through so that sifting through the waiver wire without using your priority. So I would save it for sure. Gilbert, no. Oh yeah, I didn't think you meant me. I just like I think I'm talking so much that I'm losing my train of thought. Yep, exactly. And no, I agree. And I think that's the thing is a lot of people like what you're gonna see is a lot of the same thing with people's rankings and who to start. One of my bold predictions actually this week is that I actually kind of think Kyle Allen's a better play than Drew Brees, which a lot of people kind of gave me crap for. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, it's all about thoughts and analysis. I definitely like to do my research, and a lot of times I probably will say the same thing as a lot of other people, but I will at least try and give my reason and not like just say, hey, this I'm saying, Josh Allen's number one because everyone else is saying it's number one. We have to really figure out why and not just say things just to say things. Den P, I'm a night shift nurse, so I love these late night videos, but definitely. Oh, perfect, Den. That's awesome. That's great. Honestly, what I think I might try and do is have somewhat of a normal schedule so that I'm getting on a little bit earlier to talk to both to talk to Central and East Coast people as well. But honestly, like Friday, Saturday nights, I would love to just kind of chill and vibe with everybody and just talk things. So for all you late night people or our Hawaii friends, we can talk a little bit as well. So I think that's good. Rondo, League, Valorant, always some Halo, PC. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I actually started playing League a little bit more. League was my first PC game that I started in college, and I just started playing a little bit of ARAM and played my first Summoner's Rift today. We kind of got wrecked, but no, I kind of miss it. It's weird going back to League after I've been playing like Valorant and all these other shooters because like I'm literally pressing WSD to try and move, and I start using like all my abilities and stuff. But League is I still like it. It's tough because there's so many new champions since I last played that I don't know what anybody does. But ARAM is definitely fun to play. With that, yeah, for sure, Gilbert. Yeah, Terry top five. Yeah, I have him as my start of the week. Not necessarily like the best wide receiver, but I really like Terry's matchup this week. What's a few of the more important stats you look at when deciding on skill visitors? Yep. So my biggest thing is volume and how much they're involved. So you want to look at targets. So for wide receivers, you need to look at targets. For running backs, you need to look at rush attempts. You can't just say like, oh, this guy's the number one wide receiver. This one's the number one running back. So let me give you some examples. Damon Harris, right? People were somewhat high on him because he had that one really good game. I think he got like 100 yards, but like, I mean, Patriots running back you can never trust. Belichick uses a different one every single week. Last week, I don't think anyone broke like more than 6 rushing attempts besides Cam Newton. So you need to look for rushes, right? And someone like Josh Jacobs I talked about earlier, he has a really tough matchup, but he's going to get 20 plus touches, even against the best defense in the league. There's there's a very good chance he's still going to be able to get those yards and a touchdown. So someone like Jonathan Taylor, he's a good buy low candidate because he's been playing at an okay level, not a super high tier, top tier, running back level, and his touches I think are between like 12 to 15, so it's not great. But me as a Colts fan, because I watch the games, I expect that to go up. So I think he's a great buy low candidate. For wide receivers, it's all about targets. Someone like a CD Lamb, even though he may not have been like a big sexy name earlier on, he's getting, if he's going to get 10 plus looks a game, like go for him. One of the guys I'm pretty cautious on is Henry Ruggs. He had that he had a 1 TD over 100-yard game a few weeks ago before their bye when they upset the Chiefs. But why everyone's going to go and pick him up, everyone's going to start him, but this week he's playing against one of the best defenses in the league, and his production came on 3 targets and 2 receptions. So that screams boom and bust. That means he's obviously a very deep threat player and he's going to be going down the field, but how much faith can you trust in just a Hail Mary play, essentially. So you need to look at opportunity, volume, like Dempsey, yeah, exactly, Dempsey said. You got to look at those because, yes, by fluke, by luck, this person might get 2 touchdowns on two receptions, right? Which is what Mike Evans did. a few games ago too, but the volume is always going to be good. Yep, Sexy Rexy. Hey, Sexy Rexy will he will ruin your leagues, and also he will get you those points 2 out of the 14 weeks. But the Patriots running backs, Detroit running backs, Ravens running backs, even Bucks running backs up until this year, it's tough. Exactly, Gilbert. Exactly. And even for running backs on a bad team, you also want to look at the targets as a wide receiver they're going to get. So someone like a J.D. McKissick, like I was saying earlier, Redskins, they're going to be playing from behind most of the time, and they're going to be using him as a pass catching back. So that's why I actually think he's an okay stash for like a decent floor every week. Yeah, Rondo. Exactly. I mean, I just don't like him this week. I see, the thing is, like, when I have Ruggs as my sit of the week, or like sit Ruggs this week, it makes sense, right? And if he gets this like one fluke, like 50-yard touchdown, everyone's gonna come back and say, oh, you had Ruggs as your sit of the week. But like, sure, like, fine, I'll give it to you if he gets a touchdown on 50-yard reception. But like, I'm not gonna bank on that against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Ty, yep, no problem. Follow-up question for what do you consider wide receiver CB as a huge factor in ranking? Yeah, so that's a consideration for sure. It's tough, and like, if we want to get super deep in the details, that's fine. And like, I think that's where that's where I try to draw a fine line, because I want to be able to provide information at a really quick and easy, sort of like digestible format. But I also want to provide enough information to explain myself. But I don't want to get to the point where I'm like, Jalen Ramsey has X% on slants, X% on deep routes. He shadows, wide receiver 1. Like, you can get super, super technical, and there's an audience for it. But I think for the majority of fantasy players, they're not going to care about it. That being said, yes, A-Rob against Jalen Ramsey is something to consider. I think more so you want to just look at how the Rams have been doing against wide receivers, right? Because if you really want to get super into detail, you have to think about, okay, is this a wide receiver 1? Is it a wide receiver 2? Do the cornerbacks play man-to-man? Do they shadow different people? Do they only play on the left side or right side? Are we talking about, a slot receiver, or what is it? So I don't think you need to get too deep into it unless you love that, stat stuff. In regards to A-Rob versus Ramsey, I think there is concern for sure, right? And Ramsey has been playing well, but you also have to think about the fact that Nick Foles has been just forcing the ball to A-Rob, and he gets a lot of targets. So if you are, struggling to think about whether or not you want to start A-Rob, I would say look more to the targets, because I don't think Jalen Ramsey is like, such an elite cornerback that he's going to hold A-Rob to 0 receptions, 0 yards. But I would, if you were concerned about that, I would just go back a few games and look to see how he's been doing against wide receivers that he's been shadowing. Irie, what's normal wire? It all depends. I mean, you have a solid team, Irie. I don't think you need to add more. It really depends. I don't do that many unless there's someone I really love. Maybe 2 to 3 max each week, and a lot of it has to do with whether or not I'm streaming like defenses or kickers. But I think you're solid. I mean, you still have a lot to use, so like, don't not use it. Just use it. Like, use your waiver. There's no point in saving it if you know for sure you're getting a stud or you need a position right away. Gilbert, yep, target. Exactly. Yep. I mean, look at Scary Terry. He's on a bad team, but he's still a really solid fantasy wide receiver. Sorry, I'm going to try and go a little faster and catch up to everyone. Burke says, CB matchup when there's an elite known to shadow. Yep, exactly. I mean, A-Rob is one of those receivers you should start. Rondo, yep, check your wide receiver shadow matchups. Thanks for the tip, Rondo. Yep, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so if you guys love the technical stuff, that's good. Like I said, I think for the majority of the fantasy players, like, I think when you start talking, like, there are a few fantasy channels where they get so deep into the numbers that, like, I think people are more drawn to it because they're like, well, cool, like, this guy did the math and, like, he knows it, but, like, let's just think about, 95% of the fantasy players, like, they can't even keep up with who's playing who this week in the matchups. Like, do you really think they're going to care or really be able to really interpret what percentages mean, how different receivers play and whatnot? So, hey, I mean, we can always get into that if we want to, but yeah. So it really depends on who you are. I am in a league with a bunch of college friends, and we talk so much trash that like it almost hurts people's feelings. But like the family and friends one, who are a little bit less, you can talk a little bit, but I think it all just depends on the group that you're in. But yeah, I mean, I'm a trash talker. I like to constantly adjust your. Yep, exactly. Yep. Oh, for sure. You can definitely psych some people out. Talking up waiver guys. Yup, exactly. Just throw in the chat. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna who's like a good. I'm gonna pick up. I don't know, Marcus Johnson, or like, holy cow. I think AJ Dillon. I heard AJ Dillon's gonna be the primary back. Let me go get him and just have someone else go get it. So I agree. You could definitely mess around with people. I like starting a number 2 wide receiver where I know there's a one. Yep, exactly. And that's the thing. A lot of wide receiver twos, or sorry, number 2 wide receivers, they really benefit from having their wide receiver ones there. So I completely agree. I mean, look at what's happening with like in Steelers, right? Juju is not doing well. He's getting the majority of the coverages, while Claypool, James Washington are feasting. So yeah. Rondo, top 10 in what position, or top 10 overall? Burke. So yes, I do look at Vegas lines for certain things. The only things I like to, so I don't really care too much about who's going to win. Usually for like stardoms and stuff, I like to look at the total points that's going to happen. So for this week, the one game that stood out to me, I don't have it pulled up right now, but when I looked at the Vegas lines, I made a conclusion that I think the Falcons and Detroit game is going to be super, super high scoring. So I had Matt Ryan as a start, Matt Stafford as a start. I said to someone, I think AP is probably okay, even though DeAndre Swift is probably going to get the majority of the carries. I think Galle is going to be a great start. Hawkins, I mean, it sounds like I'm listing off literally everybody, but like if you're having, a game that's going to be super, super high scoring, you want those offensive players to be starting. Yeah, Gilbert, that's funny. Yep, exactly. Yeah, Juju is a massive letdown. Two per position. Okay, and if we're so let me pull up my list, but let me go through it. Start my backups and then search them out less. That's funny, yeah. I'll actually do that, Gilbert. That's really good. If I'm ever talking about anyone that I'm going to trade, I like to put them like in my starting lineup. That's yeah. 20 hours of Tennessee. Yep. Okay. Tennessee loses game but wins spread. All right, so Rondo, let's see, top 2 position. Let me look at my list. So we'll start with QBs. The tough thing is it's hard. The reason I'm having a hard time like answering your questions is because I don't want to say the obvious with like, Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson. This week, I like Josh Allen a lot, his matchup, and I like Russell Wilson for quarterback. For running back, let's see. I actually really like Mike Davis, surprising or not. I like, oh no, for sure. Yeah, I'm just kind of split things out. I'm like, this is just, I have my full list, but I don't want to say the top. Like, I don't want to say Alvin Kamara and Derrick Henry, for running back. So I'm going to say Mike Davis, and I'm going to say, I'm actually going to say, I mean, I know I said I wouldn't say, but I think Zeke will actually recover and bounce back. For wide receivers, I'm going to just stick with it. I'm going to say Scary Terry. I like him a lot. And we'll go with, let's go with Kenny Galladay. I mentioned it before. I think it's going to be a really high-scoring matchup. So let's go with that. Obviously Devontae Adams, Hopkins, they both have really, really good matchups. Green Bay against Houston, Arizona against Seattle, so they have really good matchups. But I think those 2 guys are gonna do really well. Tight ends, I'm not gonna say Kelsey or Kittle just because what it is. Let's go T.J. Hawkinson again, part of that Detroit lineup that I think is gonna feast, and let's go Gronkowski. Actually, I think his target share has gone up a lot, and let's just say he gets used a lot more this week. And maybe that's his big week. He goes off, and then we want, if any Gronk owners out there, we want to sell him high before AB comes into the equation. I don't think you care about kickers, but I like Yahweh Koo a lot, and I think Butker's gonna have a bounce back game. And for defenses, obviously you're gonna like the Bills because they're playing the Jets. I actually had Eagles as one of my top defenses. I don't think they went off, but they still got 9 solid points. They were my start of the week, so I went with them. And let's go with Chargers, actually. I think the Chargers defense gets a huge boost this week with some of their players coming back. And I mean, Jacksonville, they kind of score some points. But let's say Chargers. We don't want to be we don't want to simp and just go with the top players at each position. So yeah. Burke, Njoku, and Greg Olsen during Burns bye. Yeah, so Hooper's out, right? So I think between it was Greg Olsen and Njoku, right? I'm kind of leading Njoku. I haven't been paying too much attention to Olsen, but has Olsen really done much this year? Yeah, Olsen's been kind of weak. He's had one. I mean, his one good game came on 24 yards and a touchdown. So I kind of say let's just go Njoku for the upside. Hooper's out. He's probably going to get some more opportunities, and I expect that game to be. I mean, the last time the game was at least they scored over 60 points between the two. So let's go with Njoku for the upside and opportunity there. Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing okay stuff. I guess yeah. If I were playing tight ends, so I think position has to play within 2, right? If we're not playing a top tier tight end, we're thinking the tight end's probably going to get around, I don't know, 2 to 8 points. So with that small of a variation, I just say let's just go for the higher opportunity, higher ceiling tight end, which is Njoku, because I like him to potentially drop 2 touchdowns over Olsen by a lot. Denpy, yep, exactly. Cool is a rock, and that's the thing is and someone, I don't know who has said it earlier, but someone said their league doesn't even do kickers anymore, and I said, well, yeah, I guess that makes sense because sometimes kickers will outscore your wide receiver 1, your running back 1, and that's kind of tough, and they can definitely win or lose you games. So yeah, if you have a good kicker, Hot Rod, Koo, Justin Tucker, it's tough for your bench under their bye week because you have to make an extra slot for them. But yeah, exactly. Yep, Burke. I'm glad we're on the same page here. I think that. Yep, exactly. Hooper injury. That's exactly what I think. I mean, you guys are all very smart. Bullock. Yep, exactly. I think I had him as a start. So Butker, he's been struggling this year, hasn't he? Yeah, he's the 13th ranked kicker right now, and he hasn't had a bye. He's been struggling a lot this year. I feel like I've seen a few games where he's just he's missed. No, trust. I have nothing against him. He was one of my top kickers coming into the season, and honestly, from in real life perspective, his performance is probably not gonna hurt the Chiefs that much. But it's definitely surprising that he's sort of taken a step down, and we all had very, very. Oh yeah, exactly. I remember that. That was the. I think he got iced by somebody, right? Was it? I don't even remember what game it was, but I remember that game where it was he got iced, and he just just straight up ice in his veins, kicked the 50+ yarders 3 times in a row, and yep, Yeah, that's what it was exactly. Yeah, because they almost lost against the Chargers. I was watching that game. I think that was a game where I was like, damn, I really really like Herbert. I think he looks so NFL ready. No, like everyone was kind of just talking him down before he came, saying, "Oh yeah, he's just big and he's athletic, but he can't really like throw." But man, Herbert looks really nice. Gilbert, yep, I agree. All right, so I don't have a set schedule yet. I think as I continue to do this, I'm trying to stream at least 2 to 3 times a week. I'm gonna try. Yeah, I mean Saturday nights are usually pretty open, so I think I'm gonna try and do like a miscellaneous late night one for people who are West Coast or whatever. But I think I want to focus mainly on my Tuesday night one for waiver wire pickups before, and maybe one like. So I don't know if doing Tuesday and Wednesday is like kind of back to back because I want to do at least one before the game start. It just really depends on the Thursday night game. I think whether or not it's worth it to do a stardom situms. But ideally if I could, I would probably do Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and then maybe Friday or Saturday night. The only thing I just need to figure out is like what time to do it because I'm Pacific, and with like life going on as well, I can't always start like say 6 o'clock my time to accommodate for East Coast people. Um, oh, Rondo, actually, actually, that's exactly, yep, that's what I meant. So this week I actually did a Thursday before the pregame. Yeah, so Thursday pregame. The only thing that's rough is that for me, Thursday night games start at 5:20 p.m. and I have to usually work until 5 p.m. So I actually started a little bit earlier for work this week and started at 4:30. So maybe that actually is okay if I do like a 4:30 to 6 or 4:30 to 6:30 because we can quickly talk about Thursday night's game. Most likely you're not going to have a lot of players in the Thursday night game, but if you do, you're probably going to start them. So maybe we'll do like 4:30 an hour before the game to talk a little bit about Thursday night game, talk more about the rest of the matches that week, and then do a Saturday one. I appreciate that, Bert, for sure, for sure. So one in the weekday and Saturday night. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's a good thing to do. I mean, let me know if you guys don't think you don't agree, but I think Tuesday night's definitely good before waiver wires. So we'll plan on Tuesday. We can do a shorter one on Thursday night, pregame Thursday, and then Saturday, I think is good. And I think depending on my weekend schedule, probably like Saturday and Friday night's probably going to interchange. But yeah, like I said before, if I'm just kind of like hanging out with, I mean, again, very surprised that I was able to jump out on midnight. And yeah, so if we get the audience, like that's good. Never have a Thursday player. Yeah, exactly. Go right. Great advice. Never put a Thursday player in your flex. Always start them. Den, I appreciate it for sure. Yeah, I mean, most of the time it's fine, but there's gonna be the times where like you get screwed with an injury, you can't move someone out of your flex, and you're forced to start one position. But yeah, Dempino, I appreciate it. Yeah, recommend. Obviously I want to try and help as many people as possible, and I don't really expect myself to like really blow up. But the one thing I want to try and keep as intact and is this personal one-on-one where I'm getting a decent amount of questions and interactions, but not too much where I am still able to talk to everybody. We actually had, I think at max around like 21 people on the Tuesday night stream, I think. And that definitely got a little tough. I had to start talking really fast. And honestly, maybe that's what I need to get better at is like not talking and explaining so much on just one question. So yeah, I definitely want to keep it at a good volume where I can just continue to talk to everybody and answer every question. For sure, yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing is like I want everyone to come here to like feel like they are they're getting their questions answered. One of the things I definitely don't ever want to do is I see a lot of bigger streamers, they like take money for questions, and I understand that. If you have like multiple hundreds of people, you can't answer every single start and sit question. But at that point, it seems a little sellout to me where I don't want to be taking $10 of your money just to ask like, should I start Russell Wilson or Josh Allen this week? Like, I don't feel good because that's something I know you can Google and like I want to be able to help you with if you're not if you don't know it, but I don't want to take $10 of your money. Oh, for sure, Bert. I agree. I mean, I think Hopkins is going to play unless something has changed. Like, it's a divisional matchup. Like, Hopkins plays this game, so Hopkins injury. I mean, if he plays, you play him no matter what. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to end the stream soon too. But yeah, Rondo, thank you so much. You know, good luck this weekend for you, and we'll hopefully see you in a future stream. Let's see, Hopkins, yeah, it looks like Schefter reported late Saturday night that Hopkins is expected to play, so yep, you play. Yeah. Thank you, Rondo. Talk to you soon. And like I said, I'm probably gonna, yeah, Ty, good night, man. Yeah, I'm probably gonna end the stream soon, so let me know if anyone has any more questions, but this was a really fun session. We're actually getting close to 2 hours. I'm really happy that some of you guys jumped in like right as I started. I was not expecting it. So for me being a 2-week-old YouTube channel, I appreciate you guys so much. So this is great. But yeah, Burke, Ari, Den, Ty, Gilbert, everyone who's been here, Rondo, and everyone else earlier, like thank you all so much. I definitely appreciate you all. So yeah, like I said, we'll keep those weekly videos up, and we'll try and get a hell yeah notification gang. Let's go. But yeah, we'll get those streams. Let's aim for 3 a week. You know, we'll keep the grind up, and we'll go 3 next week. So I will probably see you all on Tuesday night. Gilbert, I need to watch it. I just noticed that I just realized tonight that I haven't watched it yet. So I'm gonna get to that ASAP tomorrow, probably in between games or something. But all right, thank you all so much. This has been awesome. Good luck to you all tomorrow. Hopefully my advice helps and I didn't, make you guys lose your matchups. But I'll see you all sometime next week. All right, good night all.